Now, as I was just saying to Kirby, we are live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is the Sauce God Radio Network and Sauce God's Entertainment Network. And Kirby, it's funny I say YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, but how many viewers are we going to get? How many viewers are we actually going to get tonight? Is beyond me, right? But without that being said, I'm here tuned in, joined here with my guest, Kirby, aka K Gregory 13, aka the man of the hobby, aka the Florida man himself. Kirby, how we doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
Man, we big chilling, man. I just got off work not too long ago, and just been taking it easy. Really, just been chilling and ready to talk some sports, man. Let's go.
So, of course, we've got a lot of different, as far as sports go, we got a lot of different things to discuss. We've got a few things to discuss hobby wise, and also as far as some of the scheduling that came out today, and we are expecting the rest of the remaining NFL schedule to be released tomorrow, which you guys can catch that on the sit down on the Built in Buffalo Network's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. That's presented by Duff's Famous Wings. But with all that being said, let's get ourselves a little introduction video and get ourselves kicked off. You're live here in the Sauce Guy Radio Network. You are tuned in to the Sauce God Radio Network here on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, TikTok Live, and now streaming on BuffaloSauceGod.com. Yeah, you heard that. You're live here in the Sauce God Radio Network on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you're just now tuning in, do us a favor, hit that like and share. Join us here in the comments. If you're watching on Twitter, sad to say, you have to hit the retweet. Come on over to YouTube, subscribe to us, and then join in on the comments because you want to join this discussion. This is an unfiltered discussion where we don't even have any topics in front of us, me and Kirby. This is something we just like to get together, talk a little bit of sports, and just see where it goes. Now, it's been entertaining every single time, nonetheless. But I'm actually pumped because, we got back into baseball breaks, and we've got a lot of things to discuss on that for, front line. So Kirby's got himself a little drink there. I got myself a little, and I'm not really a Coors Light guy, just saying. I'm just saying. I'm a big-time Bass guy, but, I compromise, right? So, Kirby, how is the world of pest control going today?
Man, not bad. I actually had a great day. Flew through them. Yeah, piece of cake, man. I'm a veteran, so what do you expect?
Now, me personally, man, I know they tell you to put things in increments, put so much Tall Star, put so much water. I always overloaded the Tall Star because not only do I want them dead, but I want them gone, and I want them to stay gone. And when they say residual effects, that doesn't mean for me a week. That means years. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're about to douse some fucking. And by the way, I might not have the pest control sprays like you do, but I've been on Spider Alert with Emily and Gianna all fucking week long. Anytime a spider, they come to me. And low key, Kirby, had arachnophobia myself for quite a long time. So I'm conflicted, right? But I got to step up and be a man. But Kirby, tell us probably your craziest pest control story in the last few months. Something where you encountered anything. Give us something.
Oh, man. Dude, there is some I could get into, but the legalities of it, it might be a
That's the kind of story we want.
Yeah, we'll just say that a lady had left out a few adult toys, and roaches just happened to be crawling on them as well.
Oh, okay. So basically, for those of you that are, little, not as street smart as Kirby and I, basically dirty vag. Dirty vag with fucking roaches pouring out. That's fucking terrible. I got to be honest. When you see the roaches come out of the walls,
can't go any further with it. I don't want to get arrested for body shaming, with the
because that is definitely a crime worth, putting people in prison for these days, right?
Oh, at least a year, yeah.
Yeah, looking at a year and a half with good behavior. The fuck? It's enough of that. If you guys are just now tuning in, though, this is the Sauce God Radio Network on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're just now tuning in, hit that like and share. Join the comments. Subscribe to us. It's myself, the Sauce God, at Buffalo Sauce God on all social medias. Join here with my co-host, Kirby, aka Gregory 13, aka the Florida man himself. And let me tell you something. So we've been active on Whatnot. We've gotten some things going. It's so funny though, Kirby, that we're now doing baseball breaks. With what I think is going to be a path of success, right? But that's what Sammy Sports Cards started as, and he got away from baseball. He just stuck with the UFC. I mean, props, credit to him. But dude, I don't know what it is, man. I really think that we're going to have some serious mojo with this baseball stuff. I think we're going to actually re-up on product either tomorrow night if all goes well. And then we're going to rip Friday. If not, we're just going to get everything Friday and rip Friday regardless. So, and I'm actually going to talk with you about some of the boxes here in the show as well. Because I was actually watching a few different YouTubes of people ripping open some of these hobby boxes just to see the types of hits, to see the kind of value that comes from the amount of cards and all that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that. But let's get to our first sports topic here, Kirby. NFL comes out with some news today. We all know that the schedule release is supposed to be tomorrow, and that is going to be before 8 p.m. and directly after. At around 8 p.m., we will be live in the sit down for Built in Buffalo on their Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And so, but some news already came out today. The Bills will face against the Jags as the home team in Tottenham or whatever the fuck it is. And they're going to host them in London on October 8th. How do you feel about playing the Bills in October in London?
I think tough luck, man. I think you're going to get chewed up pretty good. We win by a touchdown at least.
Right. So
Calvin Ridley catches.
I'm glad you say that because it's Bills by $1 billion.
Bills by $1 billion. Okay. Now, yeah. I think in fairness, it's going to be a tough game. Pretty evenly matched, I got to say.
Different Jags team this year, too, with, Calvin Ridley joining the team and also with just more experience for Trevor Lawrence now, too. So I really think that Jags team is in prime fucking position to now start to run the AFC South, kind of like how the Titans basically were. So, I mean, I agree with that. Now, Kirby, I think in all honesty, for our teams, it's good that we're doing this in October, right? When, you get the early tough matchup out of the way there and you try to figure it out the rest of the way, but you don't want to be losing that kind of matchup later in the season. If the Bills were to lose to the Jags or the Jags lose to the Bills. Speaking of, I remember a couple years ago, you guys were actually heavy favorites. We were heavy favorites. I'm sorry, 16.5 points, I believe. And I normally am not the type of person that gets like any sort of, feeling before the game, after the game, whatever. But this game, I felt weird before I go, something ain't fucking right. And sure, I don't believe that everything in this world is fixed. I believe that there's definitely some things in the world of sports that are fixed. But I said to myself, when they had this penalty called on the Jags, and then they reviewed it for 2.5 minutes, come back from commercial break, reverse the penalty, and put a pass interference on Tre'Davious White. At that moment, I go, we're fucked, and we couldn't do shit, dude. But I think that's more so people were looking at it as a trap game. But I think that Jags defense was already being built, and Trevor Lawrence is, like I said, the kid he's the best one out of 2021. Mac Jones ain't even fucking close. So anybody that thinks that can just go somewhere else. But how do you feel about Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley coming together for their first year this year?
Truth be told, I haven't seen or at least watched myself a bunch of tape on Calvin Ridley. I know he's good, but I guess he just.
I'm willing to bet that he's good.
He kind of floated under my radar. I mean, I saw a little bit of him in college, but I guess I didn't really pay that much attention. I've always been when it's football season, I focus on mostly fantasy. Ain't gonna lie. Games go by in a blur. I'm making bets left and right, bro.
Speaking of, I actually got a couple of bets in too. I'll bring that up at some point. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, continue.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be everybody keeps talking about it, dude. And if it's anything like they say it's going to be, I mean, what we saw last year, just a little bit better.
Yeah, I think when you're kind of coming into your third year with a rookie quarterback and you're still under that rookie contract, you're in prime position. You have the window. Things are a lot easier to sign players. And I think that Calvin Ridley, since we're talking about him, is really, I think he's I mean, the last time we watched him play, it's like, I honestly can't even remember it in a sense. I know the kid was insane at Alabama, and he was obviously good enough with the Falcons that Julio Jones basically gets pushed out of there. So I know he's good. I personally, I think that the NFL's policy on gambling and all that shit is stupid. He wasn't betting on his team to lose or anything like that. We know he wasn't like however he was betting, it didn't look like he was attempting to fix any sort of outcome. So for me, that's like, why should the guy be held over the fucking coals for putting a fucking bet on a game? Maybe he's bored. Maybe he wants to win some coin. Who knows? The guy's obviously good for it, but to me, it's stupid. So pair him up with Trevor Lawrence, and Evan Ingram is back for the Jags now too, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you've obviously got Travis Etienne, who is starting to really come into form after his rookie season and getting the torn ACL. He's coming into form. What do you think is what's your biggest gap or your biggest weakness on that Jaguars team?
Defensive backs, for sure.
Yep. It's funny, you guys at one point had Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye, I think, too. Gifted, except Jalen Ramsey, fuck him.
Yeah. How we address it, I don't know, man. I don't know. There was an Alabama player. Damn it, I'm drawing a blank, man. We really wanted to draft him, me and Casey. Safety out of Alabama. Damn it. Who did he go to? Completely drawing a blank. Maybe you were anybody you can think of? I think he went to
I'll look it up, honestly.
He didn't go to the Texans. Who did he go to? Alabama safety, and I can't remember his name. I can't remember the team that he went to.
I got you. Brian Branch?
That guy, yes.
Or is it DeMarco Helms?
Yes. Branch.
Okay, Brian Branch. There's Brian Branch, and there's also DeMarco Helms.
Yeah, I don't think it was DeMarco.
No, it's Brian Branch. It's definitely Brian Branch. Okay.
We thought that would address our problems, but we left it unaddressed. We protected Trevor. And, other than that, we got Tank Bigsby, who's, I think, is actually
low-key underrated pick, dude. Underrated.
Yeah,
your name is Tank. It's like you already have a fucking advantage.
Yeah. Who knows? He might be one of those guys that's like a Derrick Henry bell cow type, And then Etienne is just a pass catcher here and there. Who knows? Because
ferocious runner too in Etienne.
Huh?
A ferocious runner with Etienne too. Like the dude he might be elusive and all, but he runs with some fucking ferocity.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be a sleeper pickup in fantasy too.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind.
Travis Etienne is definitely going to be like an Austin Eckler type of vibe maybe this year. So I could see that too. But it's, defensive back, I could see that being a little bit of the weakness for the Jags. I really think that you guys are well built defensively, offensively. And I think that Doug Peterson has obviously got the resume as a head coach, winning a Super Bowl. And he should have never even been pushed out of Philadelphia anyway, because, Carson Wentz we all know how that went. I'm not going to fucking get started on that. But I think that Trevor Lawrence is paired up with a good coach who played quarterback, and that's always a good thing for young quarterbacks. And I think that the Jags just have – man, Doug Marrone was right there with you guys, but Doug Marrone was just never that great of a head coach. I know because we had him in Buffalo too. I just think the Urban Meyer thing is also hilarious too. But now you bring in a guy that's actually got some function to him, and he's got things organized. Trevor Lawrence looks so that's what we all kind of expected to see a little bit more of in 2021. But then again, you can't ask the kid to just come out and carry the fucking team, no?
Yeah, especially if you have a coach that's just calling shit calls all the time. So,
or he's getting lap dances for whatever reason.
Or just just freaking using his thumb in places he shouldn't be.
And I'm all for the lap dances, you know what I mean? I'm a guy's guy too, but come on, Herb. Come on. This ain't fucking OSU or Florida, you know what I mean? Come on.
Just ridiculous, man.
It's crazy.
Typical Floridian behavior. Honestly, it's what I call it.
Would you say Floridian behavior?
Yeah, typical Floridian behavior, man.
But he's not in Florida. Like, that's where it's like, dude, he was in Ohio behaving like a Florida man. You don't behave like a Florida man in Ohio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you don't behave like an Ohio man in Florida.
I'm kind of taking a shit on the Gator fans here. So
I mean, hey, you know, they've had Gator fans, I think, can live for a minute because they've also had some success with their, they've won titles. And whatever with the Gators, they're known for a couple things: parties, Tim Tebow, and STD. So, like, there you go. There's your fucking three things. But if
Yeah, pretty
anybody's
much.
just not tuning in, welcome. It's the Sauce God here. Join here with Kirby, my co-host, and we are live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Buffalo Sauce God for all my socials. And this is sponsored and presented by Duff's Famous Wings. Catch me on the sit down tomorrow night at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Built in Buffalo Network's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as we cover the NFL schedule release tomorrow. I mean, hey, it's exciting because as a Bills fan, we didn't get a lot of primetime games for a lot of years. That's for a couple reasons. We sucked. And number two, they don't want us fans there from 5 a.m. until fucking 11 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? You get us out of there at 4 or 5 p.m., you got yourself a fighting chance, right? But you got a bunch of Bills Mafia maniacs lurking for a primetime game. Yeah, but I mean, they've also loosened that up because they see how marketable the team is and how ratings are, all that nonsense. But I'll tell you this. So going back to the Jags and the Bills, I think that if you want me to say, like, in an unbiased way, I think the Bills are in a sense due for a win against the Jags because the last two times I can remember playing against you guys didn't exactly go well. Including that playoff. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Sorry. 2 out of 3 times that I remember because the middle time was Josh Allen's rookie year, and that's when Leonard Fournette and Shaq Lawson got kicked out for fighting, and I was about to go run on the fucking field because I wanted to join in on the fight. But that was Josh Allen's, and that was a great game because, Jalen Ramsey talked a ton of shit about Josh Allen. So for him and for a lot of us in Bills Mafia, it was kind of like it's his coming, it's a showing up moment. And dude, he was like, I think he ran over like 100 yards against you guys too. He was on a fucking tear that running the football that year. But the Bills' biggest weakness, Kirby, is definitely the offensive lineman position as of right now. They have picked up a couple of guys, and including, I think, a really underrated draft pick in Osiris Torrance in the second round, offensive guard, I believe from the University of Florida, ironically, to protect Josh. And that's the main focus here. But our other biggest thing is we lost Tremaine Edmonds. And Tremaine Edmonds, I don't know if you know, the dude is a fucking freak of nature. Got $18 million a year from Chicago, which I don't care. You better play like Luke Kuechly for the next fucking 10 straight seasons without fucking any injury if you're going to get $18 million a year at linebacker. But congrats, he got his bag and he deserves it. But the Bills, I thought, were going to maybe address the linebacker position in the draft, Kirby, and they didn't. Now, everybody in Bills Mafia talked about Jack Campbell and how we might be able to get him in the second round. The kid went 18th, I think. You know what I mean? The kid, it's just crazy because in the NFL draft, you just never know when guys are going to get selected. And sometimes, man, some of these people should have went way higher than they should have. So, the Bills' biggest, that's what, if I was the Jags defense, I'm looking at just pass rushing for a little bit because Josh Allen can handle the blitz quite well. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm excited about the Dalton Kincaid kid coming over and giving us a new option at the tight end position, Kirby. But it's going to be a great game. And that's October 8th in Tottenham or whatever the fuck, London. And yeah, Kirby, I told M, I go, if me and Kirby somehow end up in fucking London at this football game, fucking call it a day because I'm fucking, like, that would be the craziest shit ever. Could you see me and you, the most American fucking people, at a fucking British pub trying to preach to them what football really is? It ain't where you use your fucking foot. It's where you're fucking hucking and chucking. You know what I mean?
We'll just fly over and burn a bunch of soccer balls right off of the bat, dude.
David Beckham will deliver them to us too.
We'll make a point.
Him and Wayne Rooney are like the only 2 British soccer players I know. So, or football. Kirby,
I'll burn a British flag and kneel next to it, dude. I don't care.
And the sad part is as much as he's not being hateful, he's being American because he has the right to do so.
Yes.
Ask a vet. They'll tell you, as much as it may disappoint them, they fought for his right to do that. So God bless our veterans, and God bless the Second Amendment too. And don't you dare fall for any of that crap out there that's going to tell you to give your guns up. The bad guys ain't going to give up their shit. And guess who else ain't neither? Bada bing. All right, so we're live here on my Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter on the Sauce God Radio Network. Myself, the Sauce God, co-hosted here with Kirby, discussing a little bit about sports. And now we're talking Bills, Jags. Kirby, what do you think a football game in London would really be like? Like, give me like a summary, like envisioning right now. Like, is it really that fucking nuts, or is it kind of lame?
Oh, dude, I just see crooked teeth as far as the eye can see. Some
I see a
stinky
bunch of
freaking
fucking losers in a 17-17-6 war.
yeah,
I said
some
that so dumb.
stinky vinegar fish and chip breath, whatever the heck they eat
Yeah,
over
it's
there.
called a fish fry, assholes.
I don't know. And then just a bunch of people saying "blimey" or something like that.
Yeah, and it's low key. They call, and I'm not hateful. I'm just repeating the English language. They call cigarettes fags. What's that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's
It's
that?
mind blowing that they say that still, man.
They
should
don't
be
do
canceled.
coffee. They do tea. I understand that. That makes sense. But it's just the whole properness. Like y'all haven't been run by a king and queen for some like weird corrupt shit for mad long and losing mad war after war after war. And, now you're trying to be buddy with us after trying to say, give us your guns so we can protect you. And we didn't fall for it.
Go save the queen. Yeah.
It's just like with the
Sally
redcoats too.
Sally.
Like you didn't win wars by looking good. I'm just saying. And by the way, too, can we just establish the fact that what the fuck happened in the 1700s where men just said, I think a powdered wig is appropriate.
Dude, the thing is, they were transgender. The British were transgender before.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was a thing over here. They just put on the curly wig and their makeup. And then they came out in their tights and their red Prada jackets, loaded up their freaking Versace rifles, and just came out and puffed freaking powder at us, man. I mean, just makeup powder. And they lost like pretty fast. George Washington and the good old boys, they kicked their ass. A bunch of farmers, dude, took on a freaking imperial army.
Oh, yeah. And that's it. So I'm glad that we got to this topic because this is one that I actually love to fucking discuss. I just want to go to the fucking room. Actually, let me take it back. I want to go to the bar because this is definitely a discussion that took place in a bar. I want to go to the bar where somebody said, I'm fucking sick and tired of paying the fucking taxes for this fucking tea. Like, why don't we just write a fucking long ass letter basically breaking up with these fucks and like, let's just do it. And like to follow it up and be like, oh yeah, it sounds like a good idea when really the British were the most powerful empire in the world at that time. We're a bunch of poor farmers, whatever. And like, we're still trying to figure out where the fuck our land is. Like, we don't even know what's out west yet, but like, somebody said, let's go start a revolution. And somebody actually went along with it. And here we are. We're fucking sitting here with the First Amendment, Second Amendment, and all the freedoms that are granted to us as Americans. And Kirby, what do you envision happening? Like, what initiated the Declaration of Independence? Like, where was it? How did it happen? What is it?
Just George Washington, in the words of Bobby Boucher, he just opened up a can of whoop ass, man, and just said, all right, let's win this thing. We're not paying these stupid taxes on your tea.
Yeah.
In fact, we're just gonna freaking riot and throw that shit into the river, and then screw your powdered wigs. And then I guess dude, it was like 10 states that fought him. I don't know how many states. It was very few. I don't think it was we obviously didn't have 50 states then, dude. It was just the
we had the 13 colonies.
Yeah, it was just
yeah.
A bunch of farmers, dude, just getting settled. You just move in, and then these guys, hey, you sons of bitches, you better pay taxes to the king. And then they were just like, dude, we just got here with what money? Screw you guys.
Yeah, I'm fucking farming. Don't you see? I'm fucking busy. I don't got time to fucking send you a fucking tax.
We just learned how to plant corn. Damn it! I mean, we just learned this shit. You guys come over here.
And they were just starting to experiment with hemp and shit. They were trying to get high. George was just trying to fucking smoke a joint. And he couldn't because the king must have his tax on his tea. Bullshit. George probably literally fucking threw his sunglasses off and probably looked at Martha and goes, Martha, I've had it. All right. I just want to smoke my fucking hemp and tobacco in peace. Living in Mount Vernon. By the way, Virginia is that, that's where a lot of them started off there. I just think that back then, at that point, it was when they say give me liberty or give me death, it really was that tyranny was so unbearable that you would rather fucking die for a cause. But low key, how did it go right? You know what I'm saying? Like it went right. And I think that obviously works a certain way for a reason, because if we're still being run by the Brits, this fucking world would be fucking terrible. Right?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, then you had literal classes where you had serfs and peasants, and then you had royalty, and then knights, and knights could move up into royalty, but you'd had to be part of a bloodline. So if you were a peasant, you were a peasant. That's all you got, buddy. I mean,
you're just automatically dirty.
You come to the circus and watch the show, but you weren't part of, you weren't going to be in the inner club at all, buddy. I mean, this is how it went.
You could have been the best looking dude in fucking 4 counties, and yet if you were sorry, bitch, you ain't got no status.
This would be like my version of history class if I freaking taught it. You know what I mean? This is my
the way it should be taught. Is like, okay, so I also envision it was Ben Franklin that probably came forward and was like, yo, this fucking tax shit's dumb. Like, I'm trying to go to France and go see this bitch that I've been banging and like I got an illegitimate kid with, but like I want to fucking start a revolution. I want to make everybody think in the United States that I was a president, and I never was, and I'm gonna be on the $100 bill, and I'm gonna be all about the Benjamins. And George, just being a true American and a guy that thinks with logic and reason, just is like, yeah, we should probably do that. I see George Washington as probably the greatest American of all time, except for Jesus Christ. God bless. Exactly. Kirby, I think that, man, back then we had courage. We also had, back then people weren't afraid to fucking take a leap of faith, because that's all you had. You just, there was no way paved for us. And, there was no YouTube and Google and all that shit back then. Like, they legit had to figure it out, and they just were trying to fucking plant some fucking crops. So I love my British friends and family all out there, but like, low key 1,700 Brits, go fuck yourselves. Just saying. And by the way, other thing too, I failed to mention earlier is that the last time I ever agreed with people from Boston was the Boston Tea Party, when they threw out all the fucking tea. So that I figured it out. That's the last time that I could agree with Boston sports fans, is 1,700, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. So Kirby, we're live here. We're rocking and rolling, and we are just near that half-hour mark, and we are live here on the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter of Sauce God, on the Sauce God Network, at Buffalo Sauce God, across all social media platforms. Joined here with my guy, Kirby, also an eBay seller, verified eBay seller with, a lot of fucking fire on that page too, guys. You're going to want to check that out as well. And his brother is new into the, well, not new into the hobby, but he's new to Whatnot as a seller. So if you guys are out there on the Whatnot app, get with us, Bolster Up Hobby as well. And hey, join up with the team, because you can educate yourself, you can find some value, and you can have some fun and some great vibes. So, Kirby, we're live here. We're rocking and rolling so far. We've got a little bit of NBA action on there, and I did mention something about bets. But I'm actually going to let you take the floor here for a second while I actually open up the sportsbook accounts.
Steph Curry, baby.
I got the over in that game. That's all I know.
Let's go.
Over 224.
I want to see those 3-pointers, man. I want to see them pull it out. They can't be eliminated tonight, man. It's not going to happen.
I don't know, man. I'm glad you say that, because as somebody who grew up big time LeBron James fan until recent years, I've disagreed with some of his views, and I also think he's low key a lot more soft than Michael Jordan. So I lost a little bit of respect, but he's still my favorite ball player of all time, whatever. But he looks pretty fucking locked in these playoffs, and I think for him, anytime it's with the Warriors, it's kind of a little personal with him, because obviously, so many years of going to the finals, even just winning the one, sure, but him and Steph Curry are constantly being compared for as, who's the greater, whatever. And so what's got you really riding on the Warriors bandwagon tonight?
I just want to see this stretched out longer. I want to see a dogfight at the end. I want to see it go as long as possible, obviously. Mm-hmm. Come down to the very end. And you know what? If they get eliminated tonight, I'm going to be pretty pissed. I'm going to blame it on LeBron James possibly taking adrenochrome with Hillary Clinton before the game.
Oof. Amen to that. Now, see, if Hillary Clinton is anywhere nearby, I want you to know I still fucking have a lot of saltiness for the fact that you didn't want to pose with me in a picture because, I wasn't a minority. When I didn't want to take a picture with you anyways because I didn't fucking like your ass. And I even openly said that to the superintendent of Mojave Electric. I said, I'm going to take the picture because she's literally one of the more powerful women in the world. But, like, other than that, I don't fucking agree. Nah, like give me. And she goes, nah, not him. Let me get that. And she pointed to a black woman, which I mean, like, all right, I see the PR moves. Now I'll say this: I'm not a Democrat. I don't associate with any political party, but I'll tell you this: Bernie Sanders. I don't care what anybody says about him. That guy seemed more authentic and real as a person, and not as much of a politician. And for me, seeing the Democratic Party not even nominate the guy to be the president, nominee or whatever to run for president, showed me that they didn't actually give a fuck about the American people, because that guy sat and answered every question that our union hall asked him. They weren't planned out. They weren't picked. Hillary Clinton had a set time. She had questions that were already placed for people to ask at a certain time. No authenticity at all. Just a complete fucking act. So how can anybody
most of them, if not all of them, to me personally, kind of all are that kind of way. But I mean, that's just my take. Don't claim to be the expert on this.
Now, and by the way, for anybody that is watching, we are allowed to have opinions. Kirby and I are not hateful individuals, but we are definitely individuals who have our thoughts and views. But I think it comes from a place of logic in a lot of sense, and it comes from a place of just realizing how terrible our reality and our society is constantly getting. I mean, I saw a video where it says describe America in one word, and one person said home, and one person said disappointing. And like legit, I gotta be honest, man. Like it's kind of fucking crazy because, we won the first one. Tampa Bay Rays covered. Guy Kirby, I took that because of you, brother. +1.5 they covered.
Nice, dude.
All right, so we've got over 7 goals in this hockey game between the Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. So hopefully Jack Eichel did enough coke and he can be fucking active tonight. Then we've got over 224 in that Lakers and Warriors game. So these are free bets, courtesy of DraftKings and FanDuel, which they're running promotions right now. Bet $5 and get $150 in free bets. All right, Kirby. So let's go back to, we're talking a little bit about politics in a sense, because I don't ever really like to engage in the political discussions with people, just because nobody's ever going to really take the time to understand from my point of view. And I'm not even trying to change people's thoughts or opinions either. But everybody wants to change the way that I think. And like, to me, it's like, no, you can have your own views. Just don't try to force them upon me. Like, I believe in God, but I don't sit here and tell everybody why that's the only way to live. Like, that's for me.
Yeah.
As a Floridian though, you guys obviously like probably look at our state and how we're run by Democrats. It's gotta be a joke to you guys down there, how our state, like how bad our state is, right?
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous. Like, yeah. I don't know. It is a shit show over there. People are literally, I hear shitting in the street, like, and they, homeless people just going nuts over there, stabbing people in subways and.
Time out. By the way, that is New York City, which I'm gonna tell you right now is not the real New York. That's a fucking island where literally because of that fucking island, we are taxed so fucking heavily throughout the rest of the state. And New York is literally a gigantic state in Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse. I mean, we're talking Albany, Binghamton, fucking Elmira. Like it's loaded up and it's got a lot of beauty to it. But we've been low key for years. They've been trying to actually like secede from New York City. They want to make them like a district similar to Washington, D.C. Because why am I being taxed and charged heavy property fees because of what the fuck they're doing in Manhattan? Like, I don't fuck with them. To me, that ain't New Yorkers. Those are fucking New Jersey people that just crammed into one space. What do you think overall? Like, if Florida's not the best run state in the country, Kirby, what would you say right now might be the best run state?
No, we got it the best. Sorry. That's just how it goes.
I think Florida does, but if you guys could have California's weather and your guys' actual politics, you'd be fucking perfect, right? Because the humidity can be a little fucking much for me sometimes.
Oh, dude. I mean, it gets excessive out here, man. Like, it feels hot to breathe sometimes. It gets that freaking hot, dude. I mean, you could walk into your garage and it just be a nice. And it could be 120 plus degrees in there and humid. Like a literal sauna. You stay in there for long and you're just like soaked, dude. It's gross.
You get out of the shower and you're literally covered in sweat. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So
Just like that.
Big League Chew, by the way, new flavor, Slammin' Strawberry. I'm just gonna forewarn you: if you get the blue raz flavor, be prepared to look like a fucking blue alien that just ate his babies. Because I have blue all up in there. Now, I'm gonna say too, I actually got out to the driving range with the kid. Got a chance to hit some golf balls, get a little relaxation time, just a little peace and quiet. Tomorrow's gonna be the sit down. Lance and I are gonna be in person, so I'm excited for that as well. And we are right now currently live here with myself, Sauce God, and Kirby discussing just a plethora of topics. Now we're going to discuss a little bit about fantasy football here and just ahead, but we've got a few different things that we still got planned for the show. We are live here. It's about 35 minutes in, guys. This is, of course, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And so, Kirby, let's keep the ball rolling here. Who do you think is who do you think the top 3 players in the NBA playoffs are? I mean, like I'm sure you've paid enough attention, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm not going to sleep on him. LeBron is really showing up. Joel Embiid is a monster. Jokic, a monster.
Devin, as much as the Suns might be down 3-2, but Devin Booker's out of his mind. He's been shooting at like 70%.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, just to name a few on my end.
I think Joker, you definitely got to put up there because he just had a fucking 50-point whatever. Like the dude is just, he could do everything, and his effort is constantly nonstop. I feel like that guy never runs out of energy. He looks tired, but he refuses to be tired because he's like low key on the verge of being Russian. So I think that Joker, I think you definitely got to say LeBron as well. And I really think Jimmy Butler too, dude. Jimmy Butler, both ends of the floor though, dude. Offense and defense, his fucking rating is just incredibly high. The dude definitely can ball. And the Heat are well coached by Eric Spoelstra. That dude is literally like he's still there coaching. I mean, most people assume that, you know, when LeBron leaves, the more likely the coach won't be there anymore. But Eric Spoelstra's still over there coaching. So looks like the Knicks are last I checked, the Knicks were actually edging out in front of the Heat to bring them within one game, so they'd be at 3-2. And then we've got the Warriors and the Warriors and the Lakers tonight in Golden State, by the way, where the Lakers are currently holding a 3-1 lead over the Warriors, and that's after Steph Curry's insane triple double the other night. And man, I'll tell you what, the Warriors just, I think that Draymond Green, the Jordan Poole shit, really just started them off wrong. I really do. I think it started the whole year off wrong for them, and you could see because Draymond Green the other day in his press conference mentioned every fucking player except for Jordan Poole about like, you know, who's got to get it going, who expects to get it going. So, whatever. Kirby, talk to me about some other random sports shit that you've encountered today or something. Like, talk to me here.
You know, I just I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. I got to give him a shout out. Little brother Kyle, first of all, it's his birthday today. Oh, you know about that. I got to give him a shout out. So happy birthday, Kyle. I hope it's kick-ass. And then there's another guy. This is fantasy football related. Another guy, his name is the Fantasy Football Counselor. And I highly, highly recommend listening to some of his content and what he has to say about fantasy. But he kind of opened my eyes to what's basically just pros. You watch it just like Main Street News. It's just copying, pasting of players of last year. So you draft based upon that advice, and it's like so hit or miss with them, like completely hit or miss. Like, you know, he kind of talks about strategy. I mean, you can take it or leave it. I like what he has to say. I don't go just solely based on what he says, but the strategy-wise, it makes sense. You know, I like to draft a running back, like a bell cow running back.
We all know how you like to draft. I remember fucking Timmy was like getting irritated about it too. It's like, what's he doing? It's like, what do you mean? What's he doing? He's drafting.
I'm balling, dude. And I snuck in there too. I was in the playoffs. 5 out of 6 leagues that I was in. So, I mean, not too shabby. Some of them were 10, 12 people. So,
yeah. I mean, that's a tough league. And, you know, we went to 10 in the Game Book Football League this year, and this is the first year I didn't win.
Yeah, that's that's nuts. And I had a blast. We got to do it again. We got to do it again. Make sure
It's
that
actually it's an every year thing. It's like we've been doing this will be the 4th year that we've ran it. And I'll tell you what, man, it the second year was fucking because I was fucking hammered when I drafted my team, and I was at my dad's bar, like telling everybody sitting around because I was like just done working. I'm telling everybody around the bar like, oh, I just got Jonathan Taylor. Like, yeah, it's like everybody's like cheering with me. They're like, who? You know what I'm saying? But who do you think, Kirby, right now? Who is the number 1 overall fantasy football pick?
I think you got to take a risk. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm thinking youth. I'm thinking fresh meat. I'm thinking fresh legs. I'm thinking insane speed, insane reps right off of the bat. Just a massive workload. Bijan.
Okay, I mean, holy shit. I mean, and it's not like, all right, that's a hot take, right? But that's not like a wild to unbelievable take because, like, look how. Here's a good example. Adrian Peter steps in, and he's a top 3 fantasy player his rookie year. Bijan Robinson has a lot of like Saquon Barkley characteristics in a sense that Saquon Barkley, when he was in the 2018 draft, was probably the best overall player in that draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you're not going to see running backs go number 1 overall anymore. No, but I think that Bijan, I like that interesting take right there because, coming off a fresh year at Texas, a lot of hype, and now coming into the NFL, fresh legs, like you said, maybe going to get a huge workload. We'll see. I honestly still got a lot of faith in Najee Harris. And I'm not saying he's my number 1 overall pick right now, but I think Najee Harris with Kenny Pickett coming along and the further development of George Pickens and the way that the Steelers are maintaining their success, even with, a rebuilding year, I think that they're going to still put things in the right direction. They just got to bolster up that offensive line a little bit more. But, all right. So who do you think is the best receiver to take this year? I mean, most people are going to say JJ, but there's a bunch of different ways you can go here.
I think the clear-cut guy would probably be Tyreek Hill.
Fuck you. Fuck you. No. All right? No. No. If he's playing with Josh Allen, maybe. But, like, no. So the problem with that is because, in all honesty, all right, putting all my bias aside, because you're playing alongside of Jalen Waddle, and because of the inconsistencies at who is playing quarterback that week. I mean, I'm not trying to knock Tua for his injuries. I'm not even trying to bash the kid. I'm just saying, yes, Tyreek Hill had an insane year last year, but Jalen Waddle low-key is emerging more and more. He's a little bit younger. Tyreek Hill might take a little bit of a step back, and not like majorly, but I think if I'm going to look at receivers, bro, I'm looking at Justin Jefferson, obviously. Jamar Chase is still way up there. And honestly, too, man, like I really think I fucking hate to say it because, but I'm an unbiased fan. I think that Garrett Wilson, if Aaron Rodgers plays anything like the MVP form that he's played at, will be a dangerous fucking combination. And I mean, Garrett Wilson is a stud. I'm just saying.
And I will say this about the Vikings, though. Now they got Jordan Addison, who is probably going to draw some coverage away from Justin Jefferson. He would be my second pick. Extremely talented. And, I don't know how Kirk's going to perform this season, but Justin Jefferson is his talent. I mean, Justin Jefferson is as talented as it gets, man. I mean, so I don't know. That's my second pick. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling about Tyreek Hill.
All right. I mean, I respect it. I'm not in, I just obviously as a Bills fan, I don't want to see that. So,
and hell, you could make an argument. You could go since he's so rare. He's such a tier above anybody else in his position. You could literally take Travis Kelce first
Yeah.
overall and probably be okay.
Yeah, I
Honestly.
think Travis Kelce, that's a fucking great point. I also think, too, at the receiver position, though, yes, Stephon Diggs, I think, is going to pop off. I don't read into all the fucking rumors that people say, he's on it. I don't read into all that shit. I don't read into people's Instagram moves. Like, I just don't think that everything that they do on social media directly correlates with their feeling about the football team or their current situation with their team. It could be something in their personal lives. They could be playing fucking games with a girl that they're dating. Who knows? Is all I'm saying, right? But I also think you're going to have to look at Calvin Ridley. And I know, obviously, time off, whatever. You're going to have to look at Calvin Ridley just because now you're playing with fucking Trevor Lawrence. I feel like they're going to just have some confidence there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Curious to see what Christian Watson does for Green Bay again. He had a little bit of a streak there.
Saquon Barkley, another talented running back, I think you could confidently pick. I think another one that you could confidently pick. He had a down season last year. Jonathan Taylor, he's a good pickup.
Yeah, the Colts might turn it around a little bit this year.
Yeah, they're going to have an inexperienced quarterback. He might need to dump it off. There might be a lot of that going on. And that's the same with, Ritter and the whole situation over in Atlanta too. He didn't get a whole lot of playing time. I mean, it's not, we haven't seen a whole lot. So if he has to dump it off, I mean, Bijan's right there. But I think you could take a risk and say that guy is going to have a hell of a first season.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
You could go that, or you could go like, say, Tony Pollard. He's down. The dude had like a fractured leg. You could go with Deuce Vaughn. I don't know if you know.
You could honestly go to DeAndre Swift with the fucking Eagles. I mean, I keep forgetting that the dude was just traded to the fucking Eagles by the Lions. And, like, the Lions are having some hits, though. They get rid of TJ Hockenson. They do just fine. Now they're going to get rid of DeAndre Swift, and we'll see if they do just fine. Now, here's a team also that two teams that I'm paying close attention to this year, and that's the Carolina Panthers with new head coach Frank Reich, Buffalo legend himself, and I always thought that he shouldn't have been even pushed out of the Colts head coaching job. I thought that was bullshit. I also think now that with the Bryce Young, I think they added Adam Thielen, so they got some different pieces over there. But I also am looking at the Bears because the Bears, Justin Fields, they make the decision. They're going to go forward with him as their quarterback. They trade away the first overall pick. They get DJ Moore, and I just think that I'm excited to see what Justin Fields does this year because he had a different type of year last year where he wasn't able to complete so many passes because he didn't have, lack of talent around him, sure, but ran offense quite well and ran really quite literally very well. And I thought that he was incredibly effective. I always have believed in him since he was at Ohio State. So I'm really curious to see what the Bears do in a division that now has Aaron Rodgers out of it. So this is a division that is now all of a sudden wide open. It's reestablished. I don't think the Vikings are going to do the same thing that they did last year. I think Lions might take a step back because Jameson Williams is going to be suspended for a few games, but Aiden Hutchinson, I think, is going to take a step forward. So we'll see. I think football is going to be very excited this year. Kirby, what are your thoughts on the NFL throwing in more London games and also now throwing in games in Germany this year?
I don't know, dude. Bunch of commies. I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel about it, man. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I like the exposure, sure, but yeah.
You want to make a fucking international football league or some shit, go ahead. But don't fuck with the NFL, dude. Like, I don't want to be throwing in Brits. Like, you can't have us fans over here that have been rocking and rolling for so damn long. Like, it's okay if you live in the States and you get a team like the Vegas Raiders, you know what I mean? That they get the Raiders. I understand that. You've been yearning.
Send them
but
over.
They're over there in fucking Europe telling us that it's not even called football. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're buying tickets to go see Tom fucking Brady, asshole.
If we could pick up and move Cleveland, Ohio, and actually just Ohio in general and move it, if we could give it to the British, just give it away, pick it up and move it, I'm fine with that too. If that, but don't take away our NFL games, damn it.
And It's like then they had the football game in Mexico. That was cruel. Like you're fucking putting these
I'm
players
fine
in
with that.
fucking
I'm
overheated
1/8
conditions.
Mexican. I'm
Well,
1/8
not that I have
Mexican.
a problem with the Mexicanos. I just the fact that they're playing in such stupid heat. You know what I mean? With people who are speaking Spanish at them. You know what I mean? Like it's a tough time. You're overheating. You're dying of fucking thirst, and people are yelling Spanish in your ear.
You need a
Terrifying.
cerveza, bro.
Dos cervezas, por favor. Gracias. And for those of you just now tuning in, que pasa? It's the Sauce God here with Bolster Up Hobby and the Whatnot app. And also check me out at Buffalo Sauce God across all social media platforms. This is the Sauce God Radio Network presented by Duff's Famous Wings. Tomorrow night, catch me on the sit down, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, covering the NFL's schedule release for the 2023 NFL regular season, and joined by my co-host Mafia Montage. But right now, we're tuned in here. We're live here with Kirby. We're discussing a little bit of everything, talking a little bit about football, talking a little bit about fantasy. And I know that you said at about the hour mark, you were thinking about taking some either break or whatever you're thinking.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my phone is at like 5% right now.
Okay. Well, you know what, bro? Let's get kind of like a little bit of an outro going here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about a few things. If you got any like requests or anything like that too, let's fucking do that. And let's have a great rest of the show because it's been kick ass. When you have a great show, you don't have anything written in front of you, you just talk. You know what I mean? It's like Joe Rogan podcast by day and Sauce God by night.
There we go. We'll do that one. Okay, Bills over under 10 wins.
Over.
Okay. Now I can agree with that fairly. What you think about the Jags? What you predicting?
Depending on the schedule, because I know the Bills' schedule is rumored to be like one of the toughest in the NFL, but I don't believe in that preseason hype about schedule toughness. Like we don't even know what the fucking teams are going to look like in this year. I think the Jags are definitely going to touch. I'd say their over under should be at 10.5.
Yeah,
I think
fair.
so. Now, if they can keep the consistency, yeah, they're going to definitely hit over the 10.5. I think that consistency with a young team is really what you're looking for the most. But I think that you're definitely on the path for that because of Doug Peterson and obviously who your quarterback is and the way that team is built. So I like over 10.5 wins for the Jags, for sure. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, man. Well, it's been a great time, dude. Much appreciated. I'm happy to come on literally anytime too. So you hit me up. You know I'm ready.
Amen to that, bro.
I'm ready to talk smack and be politically incorrect. All that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. I mean, that's the best part is when you come in here, you have an unfiltered conversation. And my two rules for any podcast I do on my own network is number one, have fun, and number two, be authentic. You know what I mean? Like, just keep it real. It doesn't matter, even if it's something that I don't agree with necessarily, as long as it ain't hateful shit. Like I can always let people like function and do what they got to do. So I always like coming in here just to discuss whatever the fuck. I was low key hoping we're gonna have our Go Bills guy. He actually is bowling right now. Yeah, we missed out on that one. So a little shout out to Robert Snyder Jr., aka Buffalo Bobby, and he is the host of the Let's Talk 716 Sports Podcast, which will be featuring me at some point here in the future. Guys, if you're watching this as well, check me out on all social medias as I am currently pushing out a thing for Stevie Johnson, former Buffalo Bills wide receiver number 13. Why so serious? He's got his own nonprofit and his own ideas that are going on in the city of Buffalo and the community. So as we also are about 4 days away from the anniversary of the shooting, I want to push that out to some more people. So get at me on social media, guys. And as I said, too, check us out on Whatnot. Bolster Up Hobby. We're running baseball breaks. We'll be back on at about, I'm assuming probably Friday. And let's talk about that to end the show. I was looking at Select Hobby. It's about 182. And I was thinking maybe another Mosaic. And then I was thinking about maybe if I have the correct amount of funds, a Diamond Kings hobby. You know what I'm saying? And that'd be three hobbies, a lot of autos. And Select is obviously fire. It doesn't fucking matter. But it's all going to depend. I like the capstone. Sometimes I have a feeling like there's just certain products that people would want a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Select might be one of those.
maybe, yeah. And then I know like something like Mosaic. I mean, there's a lot of nice color in there.
Dude, everybody says it sucks. Everybody. And like I mean, like I'm trying to fucking think opposite of that because of the price of it. The price is more than fucking what I'm looking for, but I don't know, man. And
I don't
so
know if you hit like a Julio out of Mosaic and it's a really
yeah,
cheap
I mean
price,
that's true. Yeah.
dude. I mean, you got it for a steal. The risk is pretty low. The cards, I mean, yeah, I think they look nice, and there's maybe some numbered ones in there, but people like color. People like the numbered stuff. One thing I will say about, like, say, uh, the Diamond Kings, and I think there's another one, Heritage. You know, the cards, they just they don't they kind of look a little dull compared to the new stuff with all the
Yeah.
refractors and the colors. So
I think
I don't know.
Diamond Kings has a decent amount of cards, and then obviously I think you got a couple auto memo or whatever, but I wasn't too bad. I think it was just kind of a hobby that I definitely like look at. But Mosaic, if we got the funds for it, bro, we're definitely throwing Mosaic in there. I just can't wait till we got a couple of cases and we're just fucking constant every day with this shit because I'll tell you what, man, I was looking at a case of NT baseball on there. I think it's like 2,200. Fucking sick, dude. Sick. I wish.
That's a steal.
It is a steal because I mean it's like 720 just for a box outright. So I mean, you do the math, you're really saving yourself $600 or so.
I mean, just you hit a Juan Soto something. I mean,
J Rod, Wander, any of it, you're fucking golden.
yeah, something to think
I
about.
like the optic choice though. That was fucking phenomenal. I really, really big fan. I ripped that before too. So
All the cards were really nice. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We got to run it back, but for tonight, I'm gonna have to let you go. My phone's gonna die at any second. Yeah, I'm at 2% right now. So
okay.
I salute you guys.
All right, guys. So Kirby, I want to thank
Much
you for
love.
tuning in here as well. This is my co-host, Mr. Kirby, aka K Gregory 13, aka the Florida man himself. So Kirby, God bless very much. Enjoy your smoke session. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk a little bit more about some sports cards as we prepare ourselves for the rest of this week. Remember, guys, if you're just now tuning in, subscribe for more content and also bolster up. God bless. Go Bills and go Jags for the time being. And as always, enjoy the rest of your night.
Duval. I had to do it, man. I had to do it.
All right, excellent. Kirby, appreciate you very much. Everybody that is tuned in, we love you very much. Tune in with us. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss any upcoming content from the Sauce God. We'll see you real soon.